You're watching a Start to Finish Podcasting Quick Tip, brought to you by the Start to Finish Podcasting TV Network with Andre Lewis.
Hey, this is Andre from the Start to Finish Podcasting Podcast. Today I'm going to go over some information that new podcasters might benefit from, or maybe even seasoned podcasters. And what that is that you don't have to be an equipment chaser. And what I mean by that is that as a new podcaster, you want the best. You want what everybody else is using. You want to be like the best. You look at these podcasters who are pretty well known and you look at what they use. You look at their gear that they use and you say, hey, I want that gear. I want to sound like that, which doesn't make you sound like that. It's not all the gear that makes you sound great. It's not all the content that makes your podcast great. It's a little bit of both to me, because I've seen people with good content and bad sound lose a lot of subscribers, and I've seen people with great sound and bad content lose subscribers. So either way, I think it takes a little bit of both. But I'm telling you that don't be one of those people who chase equipment, because for one, you're going to go broke trying to keep up with all the new stuff that comes out. And two, you may be a little disappointed because you may not sound how you think you're going to sound in that new equipment. I've seen and I've seen myself do that too. I've chased equipment when I first started podcasting, and I'm just saying, hey, I want to sound like this guy. And when I get that equipment, I sound nothing like him. I mean, it was nowhere near what this guy sounded like. His voice was so crisp and it was just good audio. And mine was just so, you can hear my voice, but you can hear so many different things in the background. And you can hear the noise floor was real loud, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I wouldn't say it was a waste of money, because now I do understand some of the stuff that I'm doing, but I've known to get good sound without using expensive equipment. And that's something that you're going to have to go through, and you're going to have to learn as you go. That's what I call it, a learn as you go. But getting equipment, buying the most expensive equipment is not going to make you sound good per se. Now, of course, it will make your audio sound okay if you know how to adjust your audio and things of that nature. And you know a little bit about post-production and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, it's a learn as you go process. So don't go out and get a $400 microphone because you think someone else sounds good and you think you're going to sound that same way. That's not the case. I purchased a Shure SM7B, and not because I wanted to sound like somebody else. I just wanted to check it out. I tested it out. I said, if I don't like it, I'll send it back. I wound up liking it. It was great. It does great for me. And that's what I usually use for these videos. But because I got this new microphone here, which is the Shure SM58, I use this. And I honestly think, and this is just my opinion for my voice, I think I sound better with this mic than I do with the Shure SM7B. So this is a case where I didn't technically have to go out and buy that equipment. I could have just bought this for $99 instead of paying $400, and just got the same great sound that I'm getting with this one as I did the Shure SM7B. So don't go out and chasing the equipment. There's so many different things that you can do to get good audio without paying so much money. When I first started podcasting, I used a $20 microphone. Not sure if you guys remember that microphone. It was, I think they still sell it too, the BM800. And it was made by so many different people, but it was BM800. It was a condenser microphone. And I used that for a while. Even when I got better mics, I still used it because I really liked it. It made my sound, my audio sound pretty good. And I just wound up getting other mics. But that BM800, I had like 5 of them. They were $20, and I purchased them. I had guests use them, and it was real good. I also had I forgot the name of it. It was an audio interface. Like right now, I have this Focusrite 18i8, but the one that I had was damn good, and it did just the same amount of good as this one that I have now. So that was another case of me not having to buy so much stuff, so much expensive stuff at that. I'm trying to think what else I had. This boom arm. This boom arm was about $100. Prior to that, I was using the boom arm for 20. Did it make my sound any different? No. It was just positioning and my comfort level of this one coming out in and out and swinging around. Whereas the $20 boom arm, you couldn't really do all of that. But the podcast still sounded great. The audio sounded great. So that was another example of me buying something I really didn't need. Now, eventually, of course, you want to upgrade and get better stuff. But when you're first starting out, and this is what I'm mainly talking about, those who are first starting out, you don't have to go get this. You don't have to go get a $400 microphone. You don't have to get um, a separate EQ or anything like that to have a good sounding podcast. I think the best thing that you can do is just treat your room right, have good mic technique, and talking to the microphone and do your recording. Record it flat. Don't put any plugins or anything like that. Because you can do all of that in post. Um, so I think that's the key to getting good audio. It's not going to chase equipment, buying everything that comes out, buying things because other people use it. That's just been a pet peeve of mine for so long. I see too many podcasters that are just starting out, going out and buying all this expensive gear, and it was just for nothing. You can get great audio without expensive stuff. Like even with this camera I'm using right now, which is I think this one's the Logitech 930E. It does great for me. I've seen some video cameras that are $600, $700, and granted, the video is real good, and it looks good, but this is just fine for me. Right now, when it's daylight, which is not as raining, I don't know if you can hear it, but when it's daylight, oh, I got an email. When it's daylight outside, the natural light for this camera, this Logitech 930E, it does well. And you can look at some of my other videos and see that the camera is very clear, it's precise. I like it. So this camera does well for me. You don't have to go out if you're doing video podcasting. You don't have to go out and buy a $600-$700 camera. You could save you some money and just get this camera. And it's crazy because this camera actually cost me $70. And I think because of COVID-19 and everybody needs cameras and stuff, they actually went up. Now it's 183 or something like that, which is crazy. I really need to do something about this price gouging. But this camera is now $183, I believe, when it cost me 70. In addition to an audio interface I forgot the name of that one. I wish I knew the name. Euphoria 404, I believe it was. HD 404, I believe it was. It had 4 inputs, and that was $99, which is now $100 and something dollars, which is crazy. So, this equipment is going up. It's very expensive. You don't have to keep buying new equipment to keep up with the Joneses. You can just use like I use a $70 camera. I know I keep saying it, but I just want to emphasize, like, you don't have to get too much expensive stuff. This microphone, for me, it works pretty damn good. It really does. This is the Shure SM58. This is $99. Shure SM7B that I have is $400. It's just like, don't go chasing the equipment. Now, if you need assistance with making your audio sound great, I have a few podcasts that I'll put in the links that will help you get your audio where it's supposed to be. There's external resources that can help you. But if you have to buy one thing, I'll give you this. If you have to buy one thing for your audio to make it sound great, and you're a new podcaster, I would go with that one particular thing. I think I would go with the DBX 286 because It has an enhancer, a voice enhancer. It has an expander, which means all that noise that you hear in the background, well, pretty much the expander takes that and lowers it, just like it's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm just going to be quiet for a second. I don't know if you heard it or not, but it's raining outside and you can hear it's pretty loud. But the expander will take that noise and just drop it down so you won't hear it. So the DBX has the expander, it has compression, it has like I said, the voice enhancer, it has a de-esser, output volume, input volume. It's real good, and you just kind of set it, and you can make your adjustments. But pretty much, I keep mine set at the same settings because I'm the only one that on this particular line that actually does it. So that actually uses this microphone with the DBX. I have another DBX for guests, so that I have to adjust that, depending on the person. But for the most part, if you have to get something, I would get the DBX 286. I think that runs for about $199. Yeah, I know it's expensive. Everybody doesn't have money like that, and that's one thing I used to hate. Oh, it's only $199. Yeah, it's only $199 to somebody who has a whole bunch of money. But for somebody who doesn't have money and has a hard time getting up $50, only $199 is not only $199. So what I can tell you is that if you can, just try to save a little here and there till you get it. I did that when I first started podcasting. I didn't have enough for everything. All I did was just save my money and got what I got when I was able to get it. All right. So that's one thing I would get if you have to get something. It kind of knocks all of that stuff out the box. It'll make you sound a little bit better with your audio, and you won't regret it. So don't be an equipment chaser. Use what you have, and I can recommend some equipment for podcasting. If you'd like, just hit me up at starttofinishpodcasting@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the website at starttofinishpodcasting.com. All right. I appreciate you. Have a great day and be safe.
Thank you for watching the Start to Finish Podcasting TV Network.